So yesterday we started section 6.4. You had a notes handout. This should go right along where yesterday's notes left off. They're just on the back. If you don't have those, like I said, just grab another sheet of paper. We'll do the examples 1 through 10, and then you guys will have some time to work on your homework. So yesterday we talked about raising an exponent to an exponent. We're just going to continue practicing that, especially when it involves coefficients today. And then hopefully you have some homework time for the rest of class. Any questions before we get going? So yesterday we learned that when you're raising an exponent to an exponent, the easiest way to do that is to just multiply the exponents. We also talked about how if something doesn't have an exponent, you want to give it an exponent. So I'm going to give the 2 an exponent of 1. Then I'm going to multiply each of these exponents by 5. So this is going to be 2 to the 5th, x to the 20th. All right, so I need to evaluate 2 to the 5th now. 2 to the 5th is 2 times 2, that's 4, times 2 again, that's 8, times another 2 is 16, and 16 times another 2 is 32. So 32 x to the 20th. Now, if you're having a hard time memorizing those rules, remember we said that when in doubt, you can just write it out. So if you have 2x to the 4th 5 times, you could just write it out. And then you still end up doing 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which is 32. And then there's 4x is here, 4x is here, 4x is here, 4x is here, 4x is here. 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 gives you x to the 20th. If you can't remember what to do with the exponents from here, you can write it out even further. 2xxxx times 2xxxx, 2xxxx, and you'd end up writing out 20 x's, count them back up, you still get the right answer, okay? I'm showing you the shortest way to approach these problems, but there are other ways. So I encourage you, if my way is confusing to you, if you're getting all these rules mixed up, just start writing things out until the rule comes back to you, okay? Here's number 2. So we have 3x to the 2nd, y to the 4th, all to the 3rd power. So we're going to start by making sure everything inside the parentheses has an exponent. Who's missing an exponent? The 3. So give it an exponent of 1. And then multiply all of those exponents by 3. Each one of these exponents is to the 3rd power. So this would be 3 to the 3rd power, x to the 6th power, y to the 12th power. Now, the extra step is that you can do 3 to the 3rd power. That's 3 times 3 times 3. Well, 3 times 3 is 9, times another 3 is 27. And remember, you can type those into your calculator as well. There's an exponent button. Any questions? All right, here's number 3. I have 2x to the 5th, all to the 3rd. Yep, you need an exponent. You're right. You need an exponent of 1 with the 2. And then each of those exponents is to the 3rd power. So 2 to the 3rd, x to the 15th. 2 to the third is 2 times 2 times 2. So 2 times 2 is 4 times another 2 is 8. So 8x to the 15th. Questions? I did 2 times 2 times 2, or 2 to the third power. 2 times 2 is 4 times another 2 is 8. All right, here comes number 4. Now, is this an exponent raised to an exponent? No, this is actually like a problem from last week. This could have been on your 6.3 quiz. They each have their own base of an x. See that? So you have regular size 3 and regular size 8 with parentheses in the middle. That is just plain old multiplication. Yep. And then I have x to the third, x to the 8th. So there's 3 x's being multiplied together up here, 8 x's back here. How many x's is that total? 3 and 8 is? Nope. 11. Good. What are your questions? All right, here comes number 5. We have 7x to the second, y to the third, all to the second. All right, what do you guys think I should do first? Give each number an exponent, right? So the 7 needs an exponent, and then you multiply each of those exponents by 2. So this is 7 to the second, x to the fourth, y to the sixth. And then I heard somebody say we need to do 7 times 7, which is correct. We need to evaluate 7 squared. What is 7 times 7, or 7 squared? 49. X to the fourth, y to the sixth. Any questions? All right, here comes number 6. All right, what should I do first? Give everything an exponent. The 3 needs an exponent, the x needs an exponent. But what do I do with each of those new exponents of 1? Multiplying by 2. So I now have 3 to the second, x to the second. What's 3 to the second? 9. X to the second stays x to the second. What are your questions? All right, here comes number 7. We have 5x to the 4th, all to the 3rd. All right, what should I do first? Give the 5 an exponent. Great. And what do I do to all the exponents? Multiply by 3. So this is going to be 5 to the 3rd and x to the 12th. All right, so I need to evaluate 5 to the 3rd. That's 5 times 5 times 5. Anyone know what that is? 125. Good. Questions? All right, here comes number 8. Bless you. All right, same setup. I need to give everybody an exponent. So as you're writing this, you can give the 4 an exponent of 1. You can give the x an exponent of 1. And then the y and the z are good to go. They've already got exponents. What do I do with each of those? Multiply by 3. So 1 times 3 gives us 3rd. And 1 times 3 is to the 3rd. And y to the 12th. And 15th. Now, the only one that needs more attention is this guy up front. Okay? Does anyone know what 4 times 4 times 4 is? Or 4 to the 3rd? 64. Now, someone said 12. If I wanted you to just do 4 times 3, I wouldn't have written the 3 so small and cute. Okay? This means something else. That means 4 times itself 3 times. 4 times 4 times 4. Questions? All right, we're flying through these. You good? Here's number 9. All right, what should I do first? Give everything an exponent and multiply each of those exponents by 4. So I have 3 to the 4th, a to the 16th, and b to the 4th. So I need to do 3 to the 4th before my answer is finalized. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3.
81.
So this will be 81, a to the 16th, b to the 4th. Questions? All right, and finally, I can go back. Yep. Oh, actually, I cannot. Now, as you're writing this, make sure you put the parentheses in the right spot. The 4 is not inside the parentheses. So this is a little tricky because the 4 has nothing to do with the exponent of 2. Okay? The only thing that's being squared is the AB inside the parentheses. The 4 on the outside is just multiplication. So we're going to take care of the exponent portion first, then we'll deal with the multiplication. So just keep this guy out front, sort of waiting for his turn. Inside, we'll multiply the exponents. So a to the second, then b to the second. Now you can multiply by the 4, but really you're just multiplying 4 by 1, right? So it's just 4a squared b squared. So be careful. You're only taking things inside the parentheses to the second power. So don't like over square everything, okay? Only these guys inside the parentheses. The 4 you can deal with later. All right, so that was just a little extra practice on what we talked about yesterday, especially when you start mixing coefficients in there and things don't have that exponent of 1. So make sure you first give everything an exponent. If it's an exponent to an exponent, make sure you're multiplying those exponents. So that's all for 6-4. I'm going to give you guys your homework. You have the rest of class to work on that. Tomorrow, you guys are reviewing for a quiz. You're doing the review all by yourself. Thursday, you're going over the review and studying. Friday is the quiz. This quiz grade should hopefully help you all. Any questions?